MOT. Fail!
What a ball ache.
And that is just a silly task. We're good. One thing ticked off of the MOT list. Right, I've had the phone call. It's a fail. I was expecting that. I'll nip in, pay, grab the fail sheet. Let's go find Dan and dissect this fail sheet. Look at that. We just punched someone's face, I'm sure of it. What have we got?
Repair immediately. Major defects.
Anti-roll bar linkage ball joint. That's not a big job, is it?
No.
And then that's what we knew about, the welding. And then...
Yeah, that's two of them, yeah. Inside and offside rear. And, yeah, headlamp.
Which...
Once adjusting.
Yeah, they couldn't get the adjuster working.
Yeah. Oh. Easy.
Easy, you're going to do it for me, mate.
Easy peasy. Yeah, book that in.
It's already booked in.
Booked it in for summer.
Welding's already booked in.
Cool.
Oh, I should have done it with my lighting. It's pretty swanky, isn't it?
It is. You need to take that tape off it.
Next, it'll fall down.
Oh, put it in properly then.
Yeah, I will. I'll get around to it. I've got an MOT to pass first. I don't think there was any doubt that was going to happen. Now, I knew about the required welding. That's booked in. I've ordered a pair of anti-roll bar links. Only one of them's effective, but it's good practice to replace both at once. That only cost me about £12 on eBay. The thing I've got to fix is headlamp aim too low, offside front adjuster not working. So it's going to be one of these silly diagnostics jobs, but I'm going to crack on with it, see if I can work it out. The issue is that when I adjust my headlamps, only this one's moving. Just like in my starter system repair video, which you can find up here, I'm going to use the Pinpoint tests from my workshop manual. They're an exhaustive list of tasks that will point you in the right direction and rule out anything else, hopefully. So onto the Pinpoint tests. Pinpoint test A, headlamp levelling system inoperative / malfunctioning. Determine the conditions under which the fault occurs. So I need the ignition on, dipped beam on, operate the headlamp levelling and check the headlamps. So we did all that. Does the headlamping levelling not work on both of the headlamps? Yes, go to A8. Well, it's no, because it's only not working on one of them. So let's assume they mean left hand from the inside. So it's my right hand offside that's not working. So we need to go to A5. The right headlamp cannot be adjusted. A5. Check the parking lamp in the right hand headlamp. So switch on the dip beam, yes. Check right hand parking lamp. Is the parking lamp on? I need to know exactly which is the parking lamp. I'm not sure if they mean left hand from the perspective of sitting in the vehicle or standing in front of it. So in order to determine that, well, I need to disconnect the offside lamp anyway, and just flicking through here, if it were the left-hand side, then the cable I would be looking at would be blue, and if it were right-hand side, it would be blue/red. So I can quickly determine that, and then I'll know which one to follow. So here's the headlamp in question, and well, I need to disconnect the electrical connector down there, but I've already tried getting my hand in. It's impossible. So the only way to do it is by reaching down from underneath. I'm just going to reach in and depress the little catch, hopefully loosen that off so that I can reach it from underneath. There we go. I may well have got the socket detached, but I need to be able to lift it up here to the surface to inspect the wiring. So I also need to remove this earth. So that's an 8mm, I need an 8mm socket to remove that so I can lift this up higher and inspect it. As is always with vehicles like this, when everything's compacted in so tightly, in order to remove that 10mm bolt, I need to detach the coolant expansion tank, which is an 8mm bolt. So I'm just going to slacken this off. I've got it. Keep that safe, Matt. With that bolt removed, I can lift that out the way like that. Getting that tank out the way has opened it up really nicely and will now give me access to that earth down there. And I can use a 10mm ratchet spanner for that, I think. Right, are we out? We're out. Pop that down there with the other one and lift off the earth. Pull that out. And now finally we've got decent access to our socket for testing. As I said, it's never as straightforward as you think it will be, but if you apply yourself, you can get there. So now that I've got this loom free and I can access the plug, I can inspect the wires on them. Well, that's helpful, isn't it? We've got a blue and red and a blue. So I can't actually tell at this point whether they mean left or right. However, if I bring the plug into the same orientation as the diagram, I know that I want to test the top right terminal, and if I flip that round, I can see that the top right terminal is a blue and red cable. So on the diagram, if it's the left-hand headlamp, then it would be the blue, which means that this must be the right-hand headlamp because the cable is blue and red. So for future reference, mainly for me, but if you're doing this yourself, the right-hand side refers to the point of view when you're sat in a van. Right hand, left hand. Okay, so we're clear now. I know that I need to look at Pinpoint test A6. Check the control circuit of the right-hand headlamp leveling system. So it tells me that I need to have the ignition off, disconnect the right-hand headlamp from the connector, turn the ignition on, switch on the dip beam, change the setting on the level adjustment, and measure the voltage between the connector, pin 2, blue-red cable, and ground. So I've got my digital multimeter. I'm going to turn it to measure 20 volts. Then I need to measure the voltage of this pin here. So one step at a time. Let's get the ignition on. So we need an earth. We'll try that. Okay, so you can see that there. We got a voltage of 2.95 currently. Right, and then I need to see that that value changes. Yeah. What can we tell from that? Does the registered voltage vary proportionally with the adjustment of the variable resistor? Yes. So we need to go to A7. A7. Check the circuits to the right-hand headlamp positioning motor. Ignition off, switch off the dip beam, measure the resistance between the right-hand headlamp, connector C834, pins 2, 3 and 4 component side, and the corresponding pins on the headlamp positioning motor, connector C841 wiring harness side. And I'd imagine there'll be a diagram to help us with that. So it looks like what it wants us to do. Oh, well, that's impossible without removing the bloody headlamp. I need to remove the headlamp to do that. What a ball ache. There's one bolt here, but there's one under the bumper. Yeah, headlamp needs to come out. If I went by the manual that I've been using, I'd bet my life on it telling me to remove the entire bumper to take the headlamp out. So I'm going to try my utmost to not do that. And I think what I can do is take off this wheel arch trim, slacken off the bumper here so that it will drop sufficiently to access the bolt that goes in underneath holding the headlamp in. In fact, I'm even going to have a go at not removing the wheel arch trim. No, this is coming off. Sake. I maybe didn't need to do that. I had the wrong size thing on there. 12mm I need. Okay, that allows me, yeah, there we go. Drop the bumper just sufficiently to expose that bolt there, which I need to remove to get the headlamp out. Easy peasy. I'm done dicking about with the ratchet. Oh, it's held in by 2 bolts. There's one more to remove down there. This one might be a little trickier to reach. No, I am going to get my larger socket set because this doesn't extend far enough and I don't want to shred up the top of my bumper. I think maybe in the past I've had to re-drill that hole larger because this looks like it's a 10mm. Right, and now I need, of course, I need a Torx screwdriver to get the one on the top. Whip that one off. Put that one down there gently so I don't scratch it. Despite my best efforts, the dodgy headlamp I was trying to fix is beyond repair. In order to fix it, I needed to get the lamp out of the housing, and the only way to do that is to remove the front, and that is just a silly task, especially when I've already got the old headlamp that came out. I only replaced it with this one because it was being sold cheaply, and the only problem with the one that's going back in was that it needed polishing. I've done that, and I mean, they look basically new. I did the other one as well. This one, maybe it could do with a little extra work. All right, ignition on, lights on. Looks like it's moving to me. Yeah, that's definitely moving. We're good. One thing ticked off of the MOT list. So, the next task, replace the rear anti-roll bar drop links. It should be fairly straightforward, but you never know with these vehicles. You have to wait and see. If you don't want to miss out on the rest of my MOT prep, then be sure to subscribe to my channel. You can click on the button below, and while you're at it, click on the bell icon so you get notified when the second half of my MOT prep mini-series goes live. Also, if you're not already aware, the main focus of my channel at the moment is my Mark 1 Ford Transit Connect van conversion, which is so close to completion now. I'll link you the playlist on the end screen somewhere here. I'll leave you with a sneak preview of next episode, part 2 of the MOT mini-series. Bye! It's not good at all, it needs a fair bit of work. Ah!